Yo, Kayla,
What's
did
up?
you know how to ride a horse before shooting the project, or is that something you just lie on your resume?
Oh yeah, I lie about everything on my resume. I didn't know how to ride a horse before I came on this project. The last time I rode a horse before the project was like my sister's 6th birthday. It was like a pony at her birthday party. Do you know how to ride horses,
I've,
Jerome?
I've never rode a horse in my life.
Oh yeah, you haven't even rode on the film, bro. I gotta take you
Is that-
horseback.
Actually, no, you don't, because I'm scared. I've always been scared.
It's
I don't want to do that.
Jerome, what made you want to be a part of Concrete Cowboy?
Ricky, really, I think the man is such a talent that the world hasn't gotten to see yet, and I think it's exciting to work with somebody that isn't known, but you know that they have the potential to be known internationally one day. I trusted that whatever he was going to do with this project, it was going to be from his heart. Because for me, I got to be a part of this project, but I didn't get to view it through the lens you viewed it at, or the lens Ricky viewed it at, which is like being in Philly. You guys were immersed in that culture with the horse riders and with everybody there. I was kind of in and out. So
That's true, yeah.
I knew that being a part of this project, I wouldn't be as embedded in it as you guys were, but I knew that I can trust everyone in the project, that it would make sense for me to be a part of this. And it felt like being Smush in it was like being the other part of the whole story. The other part,
Yeah.
And I just trusted that he'd take both sides of the coin and mesh them into one, and he did.
Yeah, definitely. Like filming with you and filming in Fletcher Street was like like two storylines in his own.
Crazy, yeah.
So, but like, and then once you saw it together, it was just like, oh, this is Fletcher Street. It's not just about horses. It's about the community and our relationship that we had in this in the film.
Yeah, how we both are definitions of two different sides of the story and two different sides of like, it's this way or that way, but somehow Ricky's able to make it into one beautiful story.
Exactly.
The Fletcher Street boys, them not being so known, those men and women over there, them not being so known to the world. Why is this so important to you, and why are you excited to bring the story to life?
I think it's very important for a lot of people to know about history, because this is not just like a story that Ricky and people that created this film just decided like, oh, I'm just gonna make this story about Fletcher Street and the community. I didn't realize how big it was. I think everyone's story is important, but like being in Philly, seeing the people, the community, and their love for the horses is so important. This has been a part of history for hundreds of years, and this is bigger than us right now. Honestly, like this story is bigger than us. It's a story that hasn't been told. A lot of people don't realize that Black men and Black women were the original cowboys. So it's a really strong history that people don't really know about, and it touches on a lot about it in the film.
Working with real life writers and people who were actually a part of that community, were there any stories that you heard from any of them that stuck out or that you remember?
A story that really stuck out to me was it was actually in the film, the scene that me and you filmed where you got jumped and were trying to run away from the cops. Andrew, he was one of the ADs on set, and he told us this happened to him exactly. This is like two guys was trying to kill him, and he fought for his life, and he got away. He said exactly how this moment happened. This is what happened to him in real life. So in my head, I'm like, no, this is just a movie. But no, everything that we're doing in the film, you see the stables, the characters, these are real people. We are just playing characters, but the stories that you see in this film is just other stories that are pulled together and put into one thing. So that story stuck out a lot.
There's even that beautiful scene by the campfire where you have pretty much almost half the ensemble speaking about the stables, the origins, and how they're falling apart, and gentrification is taking that all away. That's real. That pretty much was not a script, that was real life conversation, and half the people in that scene were the real life writers. So they got the chance to vent and talk about the actual fears that they're going through in real life, but Ricky got to capture it in these beautiful shots, and we put it into the movie. So even though it's on screen, it's all real life.
Literally was an hour conversation that Ricky shot and told everyone to keep talking. And the writers that were from Philly just tell us about the history, and we were just asking questions and about the Lone Ranger and all that stuff. All that stuff was like an hour conversation of just real facts, like real information. So yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up, Jerome.
Yeah.
What stood out to you about Cole's and Smush's relationship? Tell me.
What made it so real was that they were kind of two lost boys hanging on to each other. Two different upbringings, two different backgrounds, but completely similar stories, to where they feel like they have no option but to do the wrong thing in order to make it happen for themselves, you know? So there's something endearing about a relationship like that. It's like Smush trying to be the man for Cole, but Smush is just as much of a boy as Cole is. You know, Smush is just as lost. He has no idea what he's doing except, I know I gotta trap. I know I gotta sell these drugs to make my money. So there's this sadness in the relationship where you want them both to succeed, but how can they both make it if they're both kind of entangled in this kind of lost immaturity that they're both in, you know?
Yeah.
It really brought us so much closer together in real life. You know, we could have done any project together. We could have been friends in another project or just passed each other by in another project. But for this one, we really got to play two characters who really leaned on each other. And this is your movie, man. The exciting part about how I played it is that I was with you the whole time. Like every scene was pretty much just me and you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Think about it. Even if I got to do that one scene with Idris and the one scene with Meth, it was just with you. That's in my heart, bro. That's really in my heart.
I think sitting down with Jharrel and talking to him about the script and just about our lives in general, I've just learned a lot from him. You know, I look up to him a lot in his work. I think he's one of my favorite actors out right now. I told him, but when you work with Jharrel, like he's a really nice dude and everything, right? But like when we're on set, Jharrel is ready to work. Like he gets in the character for real. So I took that on as something that I needed to do, like, you know, for future projects. You know, he definitely brought me to the next level in that aspect. But you know, sitting with Jharrel and talking to him, I've realized like we've grown a relationship past just acting and actors that we meet at an award show. Like, you know, he's like my brother.
Caleb, you know, finding success at such a young age with Stranger Things and me as well doing Moonlight. What was it like for you and how did you cope with it? This is kind of the basis of a lot of our conversations when we were
Exactly, yeah. Man, I mean, I think going into it in the beginning, I didn't really know what it was like because a lot of people always like, you're so young, how do you feel? Like, is it a lot of pressure? And I'm just like, no, I'm having fun. But I think growing up, you see what people are talking about and you see that like it could become a lot of pressure. People are watching you as you're going through your adolescence. This is like a time where I'm growing up and I'm still trying to figure out who I am. And if you don't have the right guidance, you can be thrown off track and you can, you know, like you may not go in the right direction. And I'm glad I had people around me to, you know, help me do that. But it definitely could be challenging, just people watching you all the time and just trying to figure out who you are as a person. But I think, you know, if I have the people around me to help me stay grounded and do what I love and find things that I want to do personally, I think I'll be fine. But yeah, that definitely is a topic that Jharrel and I talk about a lot, and just trying to find ourselves outside of the characters that we play and how people see us, you know, and our characters, and you just really finding ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. I think the ultimate answer was the support system too. And like, I think Caleb, a big reason why you are so dope up here to this day is because you have such a great support system. You know, your family stays close to you. And on my end, the same thing. I'm very family oriented. So I think we're the type to enjoy the fruits of the success, but also stay away from it enough and stay real and stay true to who we are because of who we're around.
Growing up with the Stranger Things guys on the set, I mean, we kind of had fame at the same time. And, you know, once the show dropped, we all were in this together. And we go to each other a lot just about our experiences. And we've traveled around the world together. We go to the same award shows, and just talking to them is heartwarming because you grew up with them and you may not have many kids that you can do that with. And we're all around the same age. So I'm glad that I have people to go to talk about these things with, and they'll understand, and they won't be like, oh, elaborate on that more. I can just tell them one thing that someone won't understand, and they'll be like, I get exactly what you're talking about. When you talk to someone that you care for and that you grew up with, it just takes a lot of like stress off your mind, and you know that someone else is there that you can go and talk to. Definitely found that with Jharrel, especially because this project was different from Stranger Things. This time on this film growing up, and then seeing Jharrel, me and him around the same age, and just really talking about life and acting in our situations was on a different level of conversation. There's levels to my life, and I feel like this was the next level. This relationship that I had with Jharrel was different from anything I've ever had. So yeah, I'm not trying to, this sounds mad emotional. This is not that
be emotional. That's fine.
It was different. No, but it was different, you know. It was like literally like the moments that we had, like, you know, talking is I haven't experienced those. Different.
This is such a life-changing project for you, bro.
Yeah.
It is elevating you as an artist as a person, as a human, and you're tapping into a whole different side. You were tapping into a whole different side of emotions on screen than you ever had, and that takes a toll on somebody, you know. So it's cool. I got to see Caleb pretty much grow in 6 years within like 2 months. It felt like he was older than me by the end of the whole project, pretty much. Like, no, I'm straight up, bro. That's why we fought at the end. That's funny. Getting jealous of Caleb and being
that day was so funny. That, you know, fight that we're not gonna elaborate, but that just helps us grow as people. You know, that's how you know we're really brothers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a huge fan of Stranger Things. I'm all caught up. I'm waiting for the next season. I met Caleb when he had finished his first season with the rest of the cast. I was gassed. And he can actually tell you a funny story. Apparently, when I was on a plane, I saw him and I acted like a little girl. I don't remember that. I remember coming up to him like, yo, what's good? I'm a big fan of you. That's what's up. Tight. You do good work. That's what's up. But apparently I wanted a picture and I was all excited.
No, you didn't want a picture. You were just like, he was like this. He was like this. This is how Jharrel, he's like, oh. He's like, yo, you're Caleb, right? Yo, that's crazy. He's like, yo, Stranger Things. Oh, that's crazy. That's what's up. And he was just looking. He's like, yeah. I was like, he was just smiling the whole time. And then he went back to his seat. And then after like every 30 minutes, he would ask another question. And I was like, yo, this is hilarious.
Every 30 minutes?
Like, it stopped at one point.
When they see it, I didn't come out yet, so he was looking at me all different. You weren't like,
I knew you were on Moonlight, so it was just, I was just laughing because you were just like excited, and I just felt your energy. It was pure, bro.
Sorry, I'm a big fan. What's up with the next season? And like, you're so much older now, you and the rest of the cast. So is it going to be very different? Is it going to feel different? What are we expecting?
Yeah, I mean, we're filming right now. We're filming Stranger Things season 4. But I think, you know, a lot of people see us growing up and they think like how we're going to play younger kids. But our characters are growing up with us. It's not like our characters are staying the same. So it's nothing too different. I know people love seeing us as like, you know, 13-year-old, like little chunky, like round faced kids, like little Demogorgons and, you know, the high pitched voices. But like we're growing up, we're growing up. We're in high school now. And, you know, we're just getting older. I mean, like our characters are growing up, but I can't really talk about it too much. But yeah, it's not like we're staying the same age. But yeah, hopefully you guys will get that sometime. That's how we used to sound. We sound like little babies.